Sheogorath is the Daedric Prince of Madness, and one of the most unusual and unpredictable beings in the Elder Scrolls universe. Among the Daedric princes, each governs a domain like destruction, deceit, or knowledge, but Sheogorath's domain is madness itself. Madness is not just chaos or disorder, but a deep force that breaks down minds and reshapes reality. This makes Sheogorath different from others. He is not just a god of chaos, but of insanity in many forms. He embodies whimsy, cruelty, and sharp wit all at once. His personality is strange and ever-changing. Sometimes he is playful and silly, making jokes or riddles that confuse people. Other times, he is cruel or violent, causing pain or suffering without warning. His actions often seem random, but there is always a twisted logic behind them. This unpredictability is what defines him. Sheogorath's realm, called the Shivering Isles, perfectly matches his nature. It is split into two halves, called Mania and Dementia. Mania is wild and bright, full of strange beauty and madness that drives creativity and energy. Dementia is dark and gloomy, full of despair and strange horror. Together, they show the many faces of madness. The Shivering Isles change constantly, and nothing stays the same for long. This constant change reflects Sheogorath's power to warp reality itself. Madness under his rule is a living force that shapes the land and the minds of those who enter it. Sheogorath does not simply rule the Isles, he is part of its madness, and it is part of him. Mortals who meet Sheogorath often find themselves caught between fear and fascination. He may offer strange gifts or punishments, sometimes without clear reason. His voice can be charming and inviting or chilling and cruel. He mixes nonsense with insight, confusing those who listen. Despite his madness, or perhaps because of it, Sheogorath has a strong presence in Tamriel's history and stories. He is feared for his power to twist minds and reality. His magic can break the laws of nature, turning friends into foes, and reality into chaos. One of his most famous tools is the Wabajak, a staff that casts unpredictable spells, often transforming creatures and objects into something strange or harmless. Sheogorath's followers are often those who embrace madness willingly. Cults and individuals worship him, seeking freedom from strict order or harsh rules. For them, madness is not just a curse, but a form of liberation. They perform strange rituals and speak in riddles, celebrating the chaotic nature of their god. Yet many fear him as well. His madness can be a curse that destroys minds and lives. People who fall under his influence may lose their grip on reality, trapped forever in madness. This mix of worship and fear makes Sheogorath one of the most complex Daedric princes. Unlike others who seek power through conquest or destruction, Sheogorath's strength lies in his ability to change the world through chaos and madness. His role is not simply to cause destruction, but to challenge the very idea of sanity and order. This makes him a figure who inspires both terror and fascination. Across Tamriel, stories about Sheogorath are many and varied. Some call him a trickster, others a god of change. In all stories, he is never boring or predictable. His presence reminds mortals that reality itself is fragile, and that madness is always close beneath the surface. In the games, Sheogorath often appears as a memorable character. He delights players with his strange behavior and cryptic speech. His role is often to test heroes with bizarre quests that seem crazy but hide deeper meaning. These encounters capture the essence of who Sheogorath is, a god who refuses to be understood fully. His madness is not just a tool or a trait, but the core of his being. This makes him both powerful and dangerous, a force that reshapes the world and the minds of those who encounter him. In the grand scheme of the Elder Scrolls lore, Sheogorath stands apart. He is neither wholly evil nor good, but something different, a force of change and unpredictability. His madness defies rules and expectations, and that is why he remains one of the most fascinating figures in Tamriel's pantheon. Understanding Sheogorath means accepting that not everything can be explained or controlled. Sometimes madness rules, and when it does, Sheogorath is there, laughing in the chaos. Sheogorath, holds a strange and troubled history that ties closely to another powerful figure, Jigalag, the Daedric Prince of Order. Long ago, Jigalag was a mighty and feared prince who ruled over order, logic, and structure in the chaotic world of the Daedra. His power was unmatched, and his desire was to bring order to the ever-changing cosmos. However, this dominance made the other Daedric princes uneasy. They feared his strength would overshadow their own influence. To stop him, they combined their powers to curse Jigalag, stripping him of his original form and forcing him into madness. This curse transformed Jigalag into Sheogorath, the wild and unpredictable Prince of Madness. Now, instead of order and control, he embodied chaos and insanity. But this transformation was not permanent. Every few centuries, Jigalag breaks free from the curse and regains his true self during an event called the Grey March. During the Grey March, Jigalag returns to the Shivering Isles, the realm ruled by Sheogorath, to destroy it and reclaim his power. This event shakes the very foundations of the realm, as Jigalag's desire for order clashes violently with the madness that defines it. After the Grey March, the curse takes hold once again. Jigalag is forced back into madness and becomes Sheogorath once more. This cycle repeats endlessly, a constant struggle between order and chaos played out over centuries. The Shivering Isles themselves reflect this eternal battle. Divided into mania and dementia, they show different sides of madness, one wild and energetic, the other dark and despairing. Yet beneath this chaos lies the trapped spirit of Jigalag, forced to live as Sheogorath. This story gives meaning to Sheogorath's unpredictable nature. His madness is not random, but a prison imposed by the other Daedric princes. It explains why madness is so intense in his realm, and why it shifts between extremes. The conflict between Jigalag and Sheogorath highlights a deeper truth about the world of Tamriel. Order and madness are not separate, but linked forces, constantly pushing and pulling against each other. Through Sheogorath's tale, we see how power can be both a gift and a curse. Players who explore this lore can witness the Grey March firsthand and understand the tragic fate of these two princes. The story adds layers to Sheogorath's character, showing that behind the chaos and laughter lies a figure caught in eternal conflict. This makes him one of the most complex Daedric princes. The curse also influences Sheogorath's realm and his magic. His powers, including his famous Wabajak staff, are shaped by this dual nature of order trapped in madness. This background deepens the mystery surrounding him and his realm. The tale of Jigalag and Sheogorath stands out in Elder Scrolls lore because it shows how even gods can be changed by fate and rivalry. It is a story of transformation, loss, and the endless balance between chaos and control. Understanding this makes every encounter with Sheogorath richer. It reveals the sadness beneath the madness and the strength hidden in chaos. Sheogorath rules a realm called the Shivering Isles, a place that perfectly reflects his nature as the Prince of Madness. The realm is split into two distinct halves, mania and dementia. Mania is wild and vibrant, full of bright colors, strange creatures, and chaotic energy. It represents the more energetic and manic side of madness, laughter, creativity, and unpredictable behavior. Dementia, on the other hand, is dark and gloomy, filled with shadows, twisted landscapes, and a sense of despair. It embodies the darker, depressive side of madness, fear, sorrow, and confusion. These two sides are locked in a constant balance, each influencing the other, yet never fully merging. This split shows how madness is not just one thing, but a spectrum of states. The Shivering Isles are full of bizarre and surreal landscapes that change suddenly, often without warning. Rivers flow backwards, animals talk, and the laws of reality seem flexible. This reflects Sheogorath's chaotic power and his unpredictable will. The people and creatures in the Isles are just as strange. They range from madmen and saints to monsters and talking animals. Each one represents some part of madness, adding to the realm's unique character. But the Shivering Isles are also tied to the curse that binds Sheogorath and Jigalag. Every few centuries, the Grey March occurs, an event where Jigalag, the Prince of Order, breaks free from his curse and comes to the Isles to destroy them and reclaim his domain. The Grey March is a time of great upheaval, where the balance of mania and dementia is threatened. Jigalag's return means that Order tries to erase madness, and the wild chaos of the Isles faces destruction. After the Grey March ends, the curse forces Jigalag back into madness, and the Shivering Isles are restored under Sheogorath's rule. This cycle repeats endlessly, symbolizing the ongoing battle between order and chaos. The inhabitants of the Isles live with this knowledge, some preparing for the next Grey March, others trying to escape or resist it. The realm itself shifts during this time, becoming darker and more unstable. The Grey March shapes much of the history and stories surrounding Sheogorath. It shows that his madness is not free but forced, always under threat of being wiped away by order. Yet it also proves that madness endures, no matter how strong order tries to be. Exploring the Shivering Isles reveals much about Sheogorath's power and the nature of madness. The realm is a physical manifestation of his fractured mind, filled with contradictions and surprises. The duality of mania and dementia gives players a deep look into the complexity of madness beyond simple chaos. The cycle of the Grey March ties this madness to the cosmic struggle of the Daedric princes, making the Shivering Isles a key location for understanding Sheogorath's story. In this realm, order and chaos are not enemies, but parts of the same whole, constantly pushing and pulling at each other. This makes the Shivering Isles one of the most unique and memorable places in all of Tamriel's lore. Sheogorath's power is unlike any other Daedric prince because it flows from his nature as the embodiment of madness itself. His reality warping abilities shape not only the Shivering Isles, but can also influence the world beyond his realm. Madness in Sheogorath's hands is not just chaos, but a force that bends the laws of nature and reason. One of his most famous tools is the Wabbajack, a staff that channels his unpredictable magic. The Wabbajack can cause random and often bizarre effects on anyone it touches, from turning enemies into harmless animals to making objects explode or vanish. This weapon perfectly reflects Sheogorath's unpredictable and chaotic nature. In the hands of mortals, the Wabbajack is both feared and prized for its wild power. Sheogorath's madness allows him to manipulate reality, twisting time, space, and perception. He can create illusions so real they fool even the wisest minds. In the Shivering Isles, the environment shifts without warning. Trees move, buildings change, and the very air can seem alive. These effects are not limited to his realm. Sheogorath's influence seeps into Tamriel, often through dreams, visions, or madness that overtakes individuals. His touch can drive people to acts of genius or insanity. This power makes him dangerous, but also fascinating. He embodies the fine line between creativity and destruction. Despite his chaotic nature, Sheogorath's influence extends to many who worship or fear him. Cults and followers exist in Tamriel who seek his favor or are cursed by his madness. These followers often display strange behaviors or gain unpredictable magical gifts. Sheogorath's realm is a reflection of his mind, and his power is strongest there, but his reach is never truly confined. Stories tell of Sheogorath appearing in the mortal world, causing madness and confusion for his amusement or to achieve unknown goals. This makes encounters with him rare and memorable. Sheogorath's powers also connect to his eternal struggle with Jigalag. His madness is both a curse and a defense against the return of order. The wild magic he wields disrupts the strict control Jigalag seeks to impose. The Wabbajack in particular is seen as a symbol of this defiance. In battles or trials, Sheogorath uses his powers unpredictably, making him nearly impossible to predict or control. His reality warping abilities mean that no two encounters are alike. He can shift the rules at a moment's notice, turning danger into opportunity, or vice versa. This keeps his enemies off balance and his allies uncertain. The combination of madness and power makes Sheogorath one of the most unique figures in Tamriel's lore. Unlike other Daedric princes who represent clear concepts like war, death, or knowledge, Sheogorath's power is fluid and ever-changing. His madness is both his strength and his signature. The Wabbajack stands as the perfect symbol of this, unpredictable, dangerous, and strangely playful. This staff embodies the chaotic magic that defines Sheogorath's influence across realms. In summary, Sheogorath's powers stretch beyond simple magic or strength. They are the wild force of madness that can shape reality itself. His influence touches minds and worlds, bending them to his strange will. Sheogorath's followers are a strange and diverse group, drawn to his power over madness and chaos. They range from common folk who have lost their grip on reality to learned scholars who study the nature of insanity itself. Many who worship Sheogorath do so, not out of fear, but out of a desire to embrace the unpredictable forces he represents. These followers often gather in secret, practicing rituals that seem odd or nonsensical to outsiders, but hold deep meaning for them. Their rites might include chanting strange verses, dancing wildly, or creating bizarre art that reflects the shifting nature of madness. Some cults celebrate madness as a form of freedom, breaking away from the rigid rules of society to find creativity and power in chaos. In Tamriel, pockets of Sheogorath worshippers exist both within cities and remote areas. They may form cults or secret societies, always wary of those who would dismiss them as insane or dangerous. These followers often bear the marks of their devotion in unusual ways: unpredictable behavior, sudden fits of laughter or anger, and sometimes strange magical abilities granted by their prince. Madness inflicted by Sheogorath can vary from playful confusion to deep and terrifying insanity. Those touched by his power may see visions, hear voices, or experience reality shifting around them. Some gain new insights or powers, but risk losing themselves entirely to chaos. The effects of madness under Sheogorath's influence are not always negative. For some, it leads to moments of genius, creativity, or spiritual awakening. Others become lost, trapped in cycles of delusion and fear. This duality reflects the complex nature of Sheogorath himself. His followers accept this risk as part of their faith, seeing madness as a path to truth beyond ordinary perception. Rituals dedicated to Sheogorath often involve tests of sanity, where participants must face their fears, confront illusions, or endure trials that challenge their minds. Success brings blessings and favors, while failure can lead to deeper madness or exile. These ceremonies reinforce the bond between the prince and his worshippers, reminding them that madness is both a gift and a burden. Some followers serve Sheogorath as agents or messengers, carrying out his will in the mortal world. They spread chaos, disrupt order, or protect the secrets of the Shivering Isles. These agents are unpredictable and dangerous, acting on whims or cryptic commands from their master. Despite the dangers, many seek Sheogorath's favor for the unique power he offers. His blessing can grant protection from mental harm, resistance to enchantments, or the ability to twist reality in small ways. This makes him attractive to those who live on the edges of society: thieves, madmen, artists, and rebels. The relationship between Sheogorath and his followers is deeply personal and often unpredictable. He may grant boons or punishments without warning, reflecting his chaotic nature. Worshippers learn to accept uncertainty and embrace the strange logic of their prince. Over time, some followers become legendary figures in Tamriel, known for their eccentricity or madness, but also for their strange wisdom or power. Others fade into obscurity, lost to the madness they sought to harness. Overall, Sheogorath's worship is a unique mix of fear, respect, and fascination. His followers embody the unpredictable nature of madness itself, making them a fascinating part of Tamriel's magical and cultural landscape. The effects of their faith ripple outward, influencing art, magic, and even politics in subtle and surprising ways. Sheogorath's place in Tamriel's myths and history is tied closely to the concepts of madness and order. As the Daedric Prince of Madness, he represents the unpredictable, wild side of existence that contrasts sharply with order and stability. This balance between chaos and order is central to his story and influence. Ancient tales often describe Sheogorath as a figure who challenges the strict laws set by other powers, especially his connection to Jiggelag, the Daedric Prince of Order. This rivalry shapes much of the cosmic drama around him. The Shivering Isles, Sheogorath's realm, is itself a mythic symbol of this struggle. It is divided into mania and dementia, two opposite but intertwined states of madness. The constant cycle of the Grey March, where Jiggelag attempts to reclaim the Isles and restore order, highlights the ongoing conflict between control and chaos. Sheogorath's role is not just to embody madness, but to maintain this tension that keeps balance in the multiverse. Throughout Tamriel's history, stories mention Sheogorath's influence on mortals who face great stress, trauma, or change. His power can manifest as sudden madness, unpredictable visions, or strange behavior that shakes individuals or communities. In some legends, this madness leads to destruction, while in others, it sparks new ideas, creativity, or insight. This dual nature makes Sheogorath a figure both feared and revered. Historical records in Tamriel sometimes hint at Sheogorath's hand behind moments of upheaval or strange events. His presence can be subtle, like madness creeping into the mind of a leader or the sudden appearance of bizarre phenomena. These acts are often seen as signs of his influence or as tests of strength and sanity for those affected. The mystery surrounding Sheogorath's true intentions adds to his mythic status. Some see him as a force of necessary chaos, breaking down old structures to allow for growth and change. Others view him as a dangerous trickster who revels in confusion and suffering. This ambiguity makes Sheogorath one of the most complex figures in Tamriel's pantheon. In many cultures across Tamriel, Sheogorath's influence appears in folklore, art, and religious practices. Stories of the mad god appear in poems, plays, and songs, often warning of the fine line between brilliance and madness. These tales serve as reminders of the fragility of the mind and the dangers of losing control. At times, Sheogorath's madness has been linked to the rise and fall of kingdoms. His chaotic influence can destabilize rulers or inspire revolutions. This adds a layer of unpredictability to the political landscape of Tamriel, where madness can be a weapon or a curse. Despite his chaotic nature, Sheogorath's presence is necessary within the cosmic order. The tension he creates with Jiggelag and other forces ensures that the universe does not become stagnant or overly rigid. His madness is a force that pushes boundaries and challenges assumptions, keeping the world dynamic. In summary, Sheogorath's historical and mythical impact lies in his embodiment of madness as a vital, disruptive force. One of the most intriguing ideas about Sheogorath is the theory that he might actually be the hero of Kuach. This theory adds another layer to the already mysterious nature of the Daedric Prince of Madness. The hero of Kuach is known as the figure who saved the city of Kuach during the Oblivion Crisis, fighting through a Daedric invasion and closing the Oblivion Gates. This hero became a legend across Tamriel for their bravery and power. The connection between Sheogorath and the hero of Kuach started because of hints scattered in lore and the peculiar way Sheogorath behaves. Some sources suggest that Sheogorath's madness is not just chaos for chaos's sake, but might be linked to deeper, hidden purposes. The idea goes that after the events of the Oblivion Crisis, the hero of Kuach was transformed or ascended into a new role, possibly becoming Sheogorath himself. This theory tries to explain why Sheogorath sometimes shows surprising moments of wisdom or purpose beneath his chaotic exterior. The hero of Kuach was a mortal, a champion of the people, who faced great danger and power. Becoming a Daedric prince, or merging with one, is a rare and difficult fate, but the Elder Scrolls universe has many examples of mortals changing in unexpected ways. Another piece of evidence for this theory is the way Sheogorath appears in the Shivering Isles. In the events of the Shivering Isles, Sheogorath interacts with a mortal champion who defeats Jiggelag and takes on the mantle of Sheogorath. Some fans wonder if this cycle is related to the hero of Kuwach's story or represents the same transformation. The idea is that madness and heroism are not opposites but connected forces. Madness can break down old patterns and open the door for new kinds of heroism. Sheogorath's role might be to challenge the traditional idea of what it means to be a hero. This theory also helps explain why Sheogorath's actions can sometimes seem both destructive and creative, both cruel and strangely protective. The hero of Kuwach's legacy might live on through Sheogorath's unpredictable influence on the world. However, this theory remains just that, a theory. There is no direct proof in the games or official texts that confirm Sheogorath is the hero of Kuwach, but the connection sparks curiosity and adds to the allure of Sheogorath's character. The mystery around him keeps players and fans discussing and debating what the truth might be. This idea fits well with Sheogorath's nature as a figure who defies easy answers and clear definitions. Sheogorath's presence in the Elder Scrolls games is a unique thread woven through Tamriel's stories, reflecting his role as the Daedric Prince of Madness. He first appears indirectly in Morrowind, where references to his chaotic influence and servants hint at his unpredictable nature. Although he does not have a major direct role in the main story, his name comes up in books, whispers, and odd encounters that suggest a god whose power twists minds and reality. The people of Morrowind both fear and respect Sheogorath, though they rarely meet him face to face. His influence can be felt in strange magical effects, madness afflicting mortals, and cryptic clues scattered across the land. Morrowind plants the seeds of his mystery, establishing Sheogorath as a powerful but elusive force. The game that truly brings Sheogorath to the forefront is Oblivion, especially through the Shivering Isles expansion. This expansion invites players into his realm, a chaotic plane split into mania and dementia, representing the two sides of madness. Here, Sheogorath is more than a distant name. He is an eccentric and unpredictable ruler with a distinct personality. He speaks in riddles, jokes, and odd phrases that keep players guessing about his true intentions. The player is drawn into the Greymarch cycle, a cosmic struggle between Sheogorath and Jigalag, the Daedric Prince of Order, who is bound to reclaim the Shivering Isles every few centuries. This cycle traps Sheogorath in a constant battle between chaos and order, madness and structure. The player's quest is to break this cycle by defeating Jigalag, allowing Sheogorath's madness to reign freely. Throughout the Shivering Isles, Sheogorath's power to warp reality becomes clear. The landscapes change without warning, madness twists the minds of its inhabitants, and the rules of physics and logic bend to his will. Sheogorath's humor hides a deeper, darker power that can both entertain and terrify. His influence touches everything in the Isles, making the realm a true reflection of his chaotic spirit. In Skyrim, Sheogorath returns in a more subtle but memorable role during the quest The Mind of Madness. This quest takes the player inside the mind of Pelagius, the Mad King of Tamriel. Within this surreal mental landscape, Sheogorath acts as a guide and tormentor, leading the player through bizarre and whimsical challenges. The quest is full of puzzles, illusions, and strange characters that embody the prince's madness. Sheogorath's dialogue mixes humor, nonsense, and unsettling truths. His appearance here reinforces his role as the embodiment of insanity that can twist even the strongest minds. Outside of this quest, Sheogorath is mentioned in various books, spells, and conversations, showing that his chaotic influence continues to ripple through the world. His presence in Skyrim is less about raw power and more about the subtle corruption of reason and reality. Across all these games, Sheogorath's character remains consistent, a figure who lives on the edge of madness, balancing whimsy with menace. He is neither wholly good nor evil, but a force of change that defies normal understanding. His weapon, the Wabbajack, symbolizes this chaos. It can turn enemies into harmless creatures or objects, warp reality, and create unpredictable effects. The Wabbajack's power is a tool of madness itself, reflecting Sheogorath's control over the unexpected. Players who encounter Sheogorath quickly learn that dealing with him requires flexibility and a sense of humor. His madness is not just a theme, it shapes the gameplay, quests, and storylines in ways few other characters do. Sheogorath's impact goes beyond his direct appearances. In lore, he is tied to important myths, such as the Curse of Jigalag and the eternal struggle between order and chaos. He influences other Daedric princes and mortal heroes, often appearing when the boundary between sanity and madness is crossed. His role in Tamriel's history is that of a wild card, disrupting plans and shaking up the world's balance. This makes him one of the most unpredictable and fascinating figures in the Elder Scrolls universe. His portrayal in games is also notable for how it blends comedy and horror. He can be funny and charming one moment, then terrifying and dangerous the next. This duality captures the essence of madness as something that can be both creative and destructive. Sheogorath's unpredictable nature makes every encounter with him unique, keeping players on edge and intrigued. His stories challenge players to question reality and embrace the strange. Sheogorath and Jigalag represent two sides of a cosmic balance in the Elder Scrolls universe, embodying madness and order. Jigalag is the Daedric Prince of Order, strict and unwavering, upholding rules and structure in all things. His realm and influence are defined by logic, control, and predictability. Sheogorath is the opposite, the Daedric Prince of Madness, Chaos Incarnate, who disrupts order with unpredictability and wild change. This opposition is not just about personality, but a fundamental cosmic duality that shapes reality itself. Originally, Jigalag was a powerful Daedric prince who embodied perfect order. However, the other Daedric princes grew wary of his power and feared the rigid certainty he represented. To prevent Jigalag from dominating all existence, they cursed him to become Sheogorath, a being of madness and chaos, stripping him of his original form and power. This curse created an eternal cycle in which Jigalag's true nature returns periodically, threatening to reclaim his lost domain and undo the chaos that Sheogorath rules over. This cycle is called the Grey Mark, and it repeats every few centuries. When Jigalag returns, he wages war against the Shivering Isles, Sheogorath's realm, seeking to restore order and end the madness. After this conflict, the curse resets, and Jigalag becomes Sheogorath again, allowing chaos to flourish once more. The Grey March cycle highlights how neither madness nor order can permanently dominate. Each must give way to the other to maintain cosmic balance. Sheogorath's realm itself is a reflection of this duality. The Shivering Isles are divided into Mania and Dementia, two contrasting but connected regions representing different facets of madness. Mania being wild, creative, and energetic, while Dementia is depressive, paranoid, and fearful. These sides mirror the push and pull between chaos and control within the Daedric Prince's nature. Sheogorath's power warps reality, bending rules and logic to suit his whims. This contrasts sharply with Jigalag's strict imposition of structure, where everything must follow precise laws. The conflict between them is less about good and evil, and more about the necessary tension between freedom and constraint, unpredictability and stability. Both forces are essential to the universe's function. Sheogorath's madness fosters creativity, change, and unpredictability. Jigalag's order brings consistency, law, and endurance. Without one, the other would become too extreme and threaten the fabric of reality. This cosmic balance is reflected in mortal lives as well. Madness and order influence the minds of mortals, shaping cultures, laws, and beliefs. Sheogorath's followers often embrace chaos to break free from the limits imposed by order, while those who worship or align with Jigalag seek control and certainty. The eternal struggle between these forces also reflects on the nature of divinity in Tamriel. Daedric princes are not gods in the traditional sense, but powerful entities that embody specific concepts. The relationship between Sheogorath and Jigalag shows how these concepts interact dynamically, influencing each other and the world. The cycle of transformation from Jigalag to Sheogorath and back again suggests that identity among the Daedra is fluid, shaped by external forces and internal conflict. In the story of the Grey March, the mortal champion plays a critical role by intervening in this cycle. When the player helps Sheogorath defeat Jigalag, they break the pattern and allow madness to persist unchallenged, at least for a time. This act emphasizes that balance is maintained not just by divine forces, but also through mortal actions. The cosmic duality between Sheogorath and Jigalag is a rare example in the Elder Scrolls lore, where abstract concepts are personified and their interaction impacts the entire world and realm of Oblivion. It demonstrates that madness and order are not simply opposites, but intertwined forces, each defining and limiting the other. Without Sheogorath's chaos, Jigalag's order would become absolute and suffocating. Without Jigalag's order, Sheogorath's madness could dissolve into complete entropy. Their struggle ensures that Tamriel's reality remains dynamic and ever-changing. This balance also explains why Sheogorath is unpredictable and often contradictory. His madness contains hints of order beneath the chaos, and Jigalag's rigidity sometimes reveals glimpses of madness when his plans are disrupted. They are two halves of a cosmic whole, locked in an endless dance of transformation and power. Understanding this duality deepens the mystery of Sheogorath and makes his presence in Tamriel more than just random chaos. It is a vital part of how the universe maintains itself, with madness and order eternally entwined. Sheogorath remains one of the most mysterious figures in the Elder Scrolls universe, wrapped in riddles that even the most learned scholars and Daedric experts struggle to unravel. While much is known about his connection to Jigalag and the curse that created his madness, many questions about his true nature and deeper origins remain unanswered. One major mystery is what existed before Jigalag was cursed to become Sheogorath. Was there a primordial being or force from which both order and chaos emerged? Did Sheogorath's madness always exist as a counterbalance, or was it born purely from divine punishment? The origins of Sheogorath beyond the curse remain unclear, leaving space for speculation about whether he is truly separate from Jigalag or simply a different facet of the same entity. Another puzzle lies in Sheogorath's motives. His actions often seem random or cruel, but there are times when his madness serves a purpose beyond mere chaos. He seems to delight in testing mortals, granting boons or curses that push them to their limits. Whether this is for his own amusement, a form of divine play, or part of a deeper cosmic design is unknown. Scholars debate if Sheogorath's madness masks a hidden wisdom, or if he embodies pure unpredictability without reason. His influence on mortals also raises questions. Those who worship or encounter Sheogorath experience madness that ranges from comic to terrifying. How much of this madness is deliberate intervention versus natural chaos spilling from his realm? Is madness in Tamriel partly a reflection of Sheogorath's presence, or does it have independent sources? The relationship between Sheogorath and other Daedric princes is another area filled with uncertainty. While some Daedra appear wary or hostile toward him, others seem amused or even allied. His place in the hierarchy of Oblivion and his interactions with the greater powers of the Daedric pantheon remain partly hidden. How Sheogorath fits into the larger political and cosmic schemes of Oblivion is still a subject of debate. The nature of the Grey March cycle also raises unanswered questions. While the cycle itself is well documented, what happens when the cycle is broken? As in the events where the mortal champion helps Sheogorath defeat Jigalag. Does this disruption have lasting effects beyond the Shivering Isles? Could it change the balance between madness and order across all of Oblivion? Whether the cycle will eventually restore itself or be permanently altered is unknown. There are also rumors and obscure hints that Sheogorath's madness might be contagious or influential beyond his realm. Some scholars suggest that his chaotic touch affects the fabric of reality in subtle ways, causing unpredictable events in Tamriel itself. This opens questions about how much of the world's strange happenings can be traced back to Sheogorath's influence. The theory that Sheogorath might be the hero of Kuwatch adds another layer of mystery. If true, it means he has walked among mortals in a mortal guise, shaping events from within. This possibility blurs the line between God and hero, madness and sanity, and leaves us wondering what other secrets Sheogorath hides behind his erratic behavior. Finally, Sheogorath's personality itself is an enigma. His speeches and actions often shift tone, from humorous and playful to dark and threatening, sometimes within moments. Is this truly madness, or a form of higher understanding that mortals cannot grasp? Does Sheogorath choose how to present himself, or is he bound by his curse to a chaotic pattern? These questions make him unpredictable and endlessly fascinating. In the end, Sheogorath is a figure who defies simple explanation. His story is woven with contradictions, half-truths, and mysteries that encourage endless speculation. The more we learn about him, the more questions arise. His madness is both a veil and a key, hiding deeper truths while inviting mortals to peer behind it. This uncertainty ensures that Sheogorath will continue to captivate, confuse, and inspire anyone who seeks to unravel the mystery of the Mad God. And that is it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.